Let's say that you were someone who was sick in the 17th century. That was when the English colonies were first founded here in North America. Back then, doctors would have to watch you breathe. They might have to feel your skin for a pulse or your temperature to see if you were sick. They didn't have instruments like the stethoscope or the thermometer. Those hadn't been invented yet. They didn't have these instruments to measure your vital signs. They had to do the best they could with their eyes and their ears. Well, early web performance was a bit like that. We had stuff like time to interactive or DOM loaded. You might remember those metrics. But those weren't precise enough to really give us an indication of how real users were experiencing our application. Then in 2020, Google decided that we needed better, more reliable user-centric metrics and created the Web Vitals initiative. It would create standardized vital metrics that anyone could look at to understand the performance profile of their site. That's why a critical component of any web performance audit will include measurements of an app's web vital metrics. But what are those exactly? The three core vitals are largest contentful paint, cumulative layout shift, and interaction to next paint. Largest contentful paint is how long it takes to paint the largest thing on the screen. That could be an image, a video, or some other element. The reason that this is important is from a user perspective, the time it takes to paint the largest thing is how they perceive speed. In React applications, this would be part of the initial mount of the application. Cumulative layout shift measures visual stability of your application, or how janky the page feels. So if things are jumping around, that will severely impact your user experience. Now, you've probably experienced this before while you're looking up recipes, and for some reason on your mobile phone, ads take up 90% of the space, right? And they just kind of pop in unexpectedly. This can happen in React applications if components are lazily loaded or asynchronous. Even though lazy loaded components might improve initial page load speed, it might impact the CLS score, which would still reduce the overall user experience. Interaction to next paint measures responsiveness of your application, or how long does it take until a user can reliably interact with your page. Now, if you've been following web performance since Web Vitals was introduced, you probably remember FID, or first input delay. Web Vitals can evolve over time, so FID has been replaced by INP as of March 2024. So this is the most stable and accurate measurement that Google recommends. In a React application, INP can be affected by the initial render time and the commit time of your application because React won't accept user input until it's committed information into the DOM. Especially under SSR, if you render a button and there's a delay between when you click that server rendered button and the client side handling the callback, that would also impact your INP score. Check out the React Performance Playbook course on Pluralsight to dive into this topic and learn more about delivering snappy React applications.